Hello, everyone. Welcome into the hospitality room presented by Mascot Media. Bobby Swofford, Blair Cartwright with you. And let me put our little email us. We'd love to hear from you. And not just the people who send spam. We'd love to hear from everybody. You can also follow us on X. Stay Fresh, I think, Bobby, is one of our biggest supporters, our
I
biggest
mean, I don't
fans.
know how they wouldn't be. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly we are their demographic. Maybe I don't.
Yes,
What is this? Is Stay Fresh that you can order the food
I
from
think
them?
so. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Stay fresh, and then a couple others that we won't mention. But hey, I
yeah.
guess some mail's better than no mail. So what's happening? It's Friday. I know we're a little behind,
Man,
but this week, but
it, it is Friday. Went to our overall golf championships yesterday.
oh,
They're held at
nice.
Pleasant Valley here in Little Rock, which is also hosting the Senior PGA Tour Playoff event next week, and all the
I saw
grandstands are
that.
already up, and so we actually had to get approval from the PGA Tour and a handful of other people just to host our overall golf championships. There went off really really cool to see these kids. I mean, it's amazing how good they are. Just high school kids.
Oh yeah, I
You know,
was I
two
was reading that in the paper today. Yeah, I mean
yeah,
it's
two or
unbelievable
two
the
or three under.
scores.
Took the title. It's very cool to see that, and the future of golf in Arkansas is obviously pretty bright. Pretty cool to see that. We got overall tennis. That's what I'm working on this afternoon. Getting those brackets updated. That's early next week, and then heaven forbid volleyball regionals are next week. It's a new thing here in the state.
Holy
We got a
cow!
lot more. We got a lot more small schools playing volleyball, so we have to expand the postseason to get a true representation of the classification. So we got volleyball regionals at 9 spots next week. It's going to be a busy, busy week.
Wow. Man, that is awesome. Yeah, I'm looking at that in the paper, and I saw where Henry O'Keefe was the boys' overall champion, and I'm like, O'Keefe. I wonder if that's Jack's kid. Yeah, and it's like, oh gosh, I covered Jack when he was at the U of A. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I am
Yeah.
that old. Yeah.
Well, what's crazy is, and you mentioned him. He had to go. He won it in the playoff, but one stroke off of making to the playoff was his brother Hogan, who he tied with for the 5A state championship, and the two brothers had to go to a playoff hole last week.
Oh, oh, that's every parent's nightmare. Because who do you root for?
Right?
You
Yeah,
can't.
exactly.
Wow.
You're rooting for the longest playoff ever in golf. Is what you're rooting for, I guess.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. And then yeah, he gave his brother the business too
Oh,
afterwards.
for sure. And they're both. I think they're just a sophomore and a junior, so they've got a chance to clear the podium again next year as well.
And they can hold it over dad because dad never won the state title.
That's right.
So wow. And he
Crazy.
did pretty well for himself. He was I think a
Yeah.
two-time All-American in Arkansas. So super
Hmm.
nice guy. So
Yeah, I
yeah, did
believe
you
he's
go in the
the
twenty
head
million
golf
dollar
coach at. Oh, it
Yeah,
is.
go
So
ahead.
he's actually the head golf coach at Augusta State, I believe, out in Georgia for a while.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and he made the trip back there. So we did go into the renovated clubhouse.
Yeah.
It's nice. I don't
Yeah.
know what it costs to be a member out there, but it's not in my budget. But it looks nice.
Yeah. I saw that 20 million and they made sure they mentioned that and I'm like, "Holy cow." So,
Yeah, it's
wow.
it's nice.
Nuts. Yeah. And it should be for that kind of scratch. All right,
Yeah,
let's get
no
to our
doubt.
talking points. Baseball. Well, it appears the Dodgers are going to be in the World Series. I mean, hello,
Yeah,
Mets. Two upper deck home runs the other night.
yeah. You got to
Holy
find a way
cow.
to maybe don't let Otani beat you by himself, and he's beating them by himself. I mean,
Yeah.
so the first inning yesterday, he hits a moonshot, puts one as you just mentioned in the seventh deck. But so I
Yeah.
check out the box score. He's 1 of 2, but it scored 4 runs. Like maybe stop finding a way to keep Otani off the bases. But I don't
Yeah.
know if it's pitching around him and walking him, and the rest of the team's doing the job, or obviously he can swing the bat himself. But yeah, they're not allowing Dave Roberts to manage. They're letting the Dodgers offense just blow the cover off the baseball, and that's taking the one chance the Mets have out of the equation.
Well, and the crazy thing too is the Dodgers. It seems like every good pitcher they have is hurt, and they're still
Mm-hmm.
shutting teams down. Kiki
Yeah.
Hernandez comes in and he goes nuts every year in the postseason. It seems like you've got a center fielder playing shortstop, and it's like they're playing even better. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's double digit runs, double digit hits. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, what the Dodgers are doing, and the Mets had guys on base. They had 10 hits yesterday. They're not taking advantage of those key timely hits, and the Dodgers are just red hot at the plate. Now here they are, a win away from punching it to the Fall Classic, which the Yankees have a chance to take a stranglehold in that division tonight. They're up 2-1 on the Guardians. I almost called them the Indians, the Guard Indians.
Shame.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be what we all probably didn't want. None of us wanted a Dodgers Yankees World Series, and I think that looks like what we're going to get.
TV's wanting it because let's face it,
Yes.
the Guardians. You hear that and you're like, who are the Guardians?
Yeah.
Who are the Guardians? And who thought that was a good idea for a name?
let's name our team after a statue that's on our bridge
that no one in Cleveland even knows about. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. So so it's going to be Dodgers Yankee, which for us old folks, we remember that back in the 70s. So I don't know. I guess
they are what the top two teams from the regular season. So I guess I mean, Dodgers won 98, Yankees won 94. I mean, that's probably who it's supposed to be, and so that's who we're going to get.
Yeah, and it's the biggest TV market, which it's a TV show. Tony Bennett, wow, this was a shocker yesterday.
Yeah.
The Virginia head coach comes out today as the press conference says, "I can't coach in this era. I'm done. Season starts in 3 weeks." Great timing.
Cites the state of the game and the current environment of college basketball. I can't do it anymore. And you know what? Kudos to him. Because guess what? And most other coaches are feeling the same thing. Because Steve Roberts in our office, obviously he's got his coaching tree is massive because he coached forever. And he's got some connections. The guy's got a podcast, and I can't play it here because it's way too many F-bombs, and our rating would go through the roof.
Yeah.
But it's this guy essentially saying that coaches are no longer capable. And also, not just coaches, athletic departments are no longer capable of keeping their players accountable for their actions because they'll just quit and move on and transfer. So, like the Alabama kid kicks the football, throws his mouthpiece, acts like a complete jackwagon on the field. You can't do anything because hey, go sit on the bench. He's going to say, all right, fine, I'll transfer. So you can't keep these kids accountable for anything because you're walking on eggshells all the time.
Yeah, and somebody, as soon as he goes in the portal, there's going to be 15 schools that want that kid, 100%. Despite all the baggage. So, I just, I don't blame him. I just think the timing of it's extremely odd, unless he's pulling unless he's pulling a Dean Smith and is trying to elevate one of his assistants to replace him.
I think something had to have happened. Because he's only 55. So unless there are health issues behind the scenes that he didn't talk about and didn't get into, something had to have happened where either whether it's 2 or 3 of his best players says, I'm not playing unless I get this, or something had to have gone on behind the scenes or didn't happen behind the scenes that was supposed to. And now he's like, you know what? I'm out. Let's can't do it. And honestly, good for him because I don't know how you would want to become a coach in today's era. Unless you're coaching a non-scholarship Division III, Division II, where there's no money being involved, I don't know why you would want to coach in big-time college athletics.
Yeah. No, go down there and just coach. And
go back to being a high school coach.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a transfer portal there too, so maybe not.
It's messy. Speaking of messy, Tom Brady, approved as a partial owner of the Raiders, is still going to call games for Fox, can't go to production meetings, which those who don't, people who aren't in broadcast, that's when you meet with the coach, you meet with the players ahead of time, get your materials so you have something to talk about during the broadcast. He's not going to do any of that. And yet...
Yeah, so I've got the list pulled up, what he can't do. Yeah. It's unreal.
Yeah.
So get this, and you touched on a couple of them. He's not permitted to be in another team's facility. He's not permitted to go watch practice. He can't attend the broadcast meeting like you're talking about, virtually or in person. So he can't even jump on a Zoom with them. Prohibited from publicly criticizing game officials and other clubs. So that means, like, if a guy makes a bad play, he can't point it out. Guy misses a block, he can't point it out. Subject to the NFL's gambling policy, and he's also subject to the NFL's anti-tampering policy. If I'm Fox, I'm asking for a refund, and he's off the broadcasting right now.
Yeah. Yeah, how can you still employ him? How
Mm-hmm.
can he be a viable broadcaster? And did
Yeah,
he
he
know
can't.
this? I mean, if you're Fox, you're like, what is the deal? I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
can't do his job, and we're paying him what? What are they paying him? Like 380 million, which is probably what he used to
375.
buy the
Yeah.
Raiders. Part of the
Yeah.
rate. I'd be interested to know how much he sunk into that. But and then Mark Davis
220.
has said he's going to help pick pick a quarterback, probably help pick a new head coach. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
insane.
Yeah, 10 years or 10% for $220 million, which apparently is a steal. Obviously, they got the new stadium being in Vegas, so that means
Yeah,
you're telling me your franchise is only worth 2.2 billion, which seems low for the Raiders, but it is what it is.
cash poor.
But I mean, yeah. So now the question is, I don't think Belichick makes sense there, but like, how long until they fire Antonio Pierce and they hire Mike Vrabel? Because that's what's going to happen. If
Yeah,
Brady has the say, Vrabel's been one of his boys for a long time. If Brady has a pick of his coach, it's going to be Mike Vrabel.
yeah. But if you're, there's going to be some good jobs come open.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. The Raiders are just
It depends on
a
what they
train
do.
wreck.
If they trade Max Crosby between now and the end of the season, it's a less attractive job. But if you're going to tell me Mike Vrabel, a defensive minded head coach, hey, you can build your team around Max Crosby, one of the top 2 or 3 defensive ends in the league, it's going
Oh
to be hard
yeah.
to say no to that.
No, it makes sense, but it's just like I don't know how it just it's odd. It's like okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just very odd. We'll see how that plays out. Speaking of football, the list of the Hall of Fame contributors has come out. Originally 32. I think the big four everyone's talking about: Chris Berman, Roone
Mm-hmm.
Arledge, John Facenda, who why he's not in the Hall already is a sham, and Howard Cosell are among those. They'll whittle the
Yeah.
list down to 9. One gets in. Of those four, who would you put in?
Well, so this is where the age is going to come into it for me, because if you ask me who the biggest mouthpiece, the biggest contributor to the popularity of the National Football League, it's Chris Berman, without
Yeah.
question. What he did on not only on Sports Center but on Sunday Night Countdown, the Rewind Show, Monday Night Football, to me, Chris Berman has had a bigger impact on anybody than the last 30 years. But if you ask a little bit older group, the older generation, Howard Cosell obviously has a huge mouthpiece. And I'm with you. How the fact Facenda is not in, I'll never know.
I mean, the voice of God.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he should have been in longer ago. Now, I think Berman. I'm with you. Berman will get in because he's got the power of
Mm-hmm.
ESPN behind him, and
Yeah.
he probably he 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 belongs in.
Mm-hmm.
Cosell, I don't think of football though when I think of Cosell.
Yeah.
Monday night package that he did a halftime of Monday Night Football back in the day was kind of the original NFL prime time, if you will. That's the only time you saw highlights from other games.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out and stuff. So
Yeah. Double,
interesting.
double check your mic, Blair. It may be coming undone. You're starting to get an echo and you're cutting in and out a little bit.
Oh, I'm probably jumping around. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, you're good there.
Okay. I got to quit hitting. I talk with my hands and I'm knocking wires loose. All right. I'm out of control. All right. Let's go ahead and let's get to the picks. Yeah. Oh, the big Tigers, Pigs, Fayetteville. You'll be there. 2.5 is the line.
Yeah. You're echoing again, so I'll take over for just a minute on this.
Okay.
So we dove in the rabbit hole a little bit on Tuesday of this week. This line opened at like 8.5 a week or two ago. Arkansas at home under Sam Pittman has lost how many times, Blair? Once. A night game under Sam Pittman, Arkansas has only lost one home game. It's unreal. If Arkansas finds a way to stay close, LSU doesn't have a hugely explosive offense. If they're close at halftime, Arkansas wins this game. They're in the top 20 next week. And all of a sudden, people are starting to circle that Ole Miss game. And they're certainly starting to circle that Texas game in a month.
Ooh.
Give me the
Well,
Hogs, Chuck.
okay. Arkansas has never defeated back-to-back top 10 opponents ever.
Mm-hmm.
LSU, I have a hard time believing they're a top 10 opponent.
They're not. That's the thing that I'm glad you said that. They're not a top 10 team. They're only in the top 10 because they're in the SEC. That's it. It's the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
And by default because everybody else is bad.
Yeah. So you're going to give me 2.5 points, and you're going to give me Bobby Petrino calling plays with 2 weeks to prepare.
Bingo.
Give me
Bye
the
week's huge.
pigs. Give me the pigs, baby. Give me the pigs.
That means LSU is going to win by 30. We just both
Yeah.
picked them to lose.
It's going to be a beatdown. Miami, undefeated, number 6. Been getting lucky. At Louisville,
Real lucky.
Jeff Brom's a good coach. He's getting 5.
Don't like the fact this isn't a morning game. This is 11 a.m. kick. But I think Miami used their bye week to realize, hey, we can't keep starting these games so slowly. Got to come out and play from the opening kick. I think this is close for a while. It's be mainly because it's the 11 a.m. At least Central Time Zone. It's the 11 a.m. kick. I like Miami to win it. I think they're going to cover it, but I think this is going to be uncomfortable for at least for a half.
I agree, but I think this is going to be Cam Ward's Heisman opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. So we'll both take Miami.
I think he's the front runner. I haven't seen the odds. Is he the front runner?
I'm not sure. And we'll dive into that on Tuesday for sure. Auburn at Missouri. Which Missouri team shows up? Which Auburn team shows up? Tigers just favored by 4.
Yeah, Missouri has just been so Jekyll and Hyde. Granted, they struggled against Vanderbilt, who's proven to be a much better team than we probably gave them credit for. Auburn struggled against Arkansas, struggled in the second half against Oklahoma. I don't know what Auburn is. Cam Ward's 4th in the Heisman race right now as far as the odds are concerned. So that being said, I think this is when we find out, is Missouri for real? This is a game they have to win. They have to look good in. So I'll take Mizzou just because I'll give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'll take Missouri too. I just think they've got more opportunities to score than Auburn. Nebraska at Indiana. Indiana is ranked. Nebraska is not. Indiana's giving Nebraska 6.5. I never thought I would see this in my lifetime.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I know Rourke's had some really good numbers this year. 1,700 yards passing, 14 tutties, only 2 interceptions. They're not talking about the freshman quarterback from Nebraska much anymore. That's a big number on the road, though, right?
Yeah.
How are you
out.
ranked number 6? How are you ranked 16th? I don't know. Give me Nebraska. That's silly. Those numbers are too big.
I'm going to go with the Hoosiers.
It's Indiana.
Yeah, but their coach says, hey, we're going to get there. We're going to go hotel at 8:30. We're going to wake up, and then we're going to go kick somebody's ass. He's brash. He's bold. He's like backing it up, even though he admits they haven't played anybody. So we'll see. Yeah. The Yardbirds go to Norman, and they're bad, but Oklahoma's only favored by 1.5. So maybe Oklahoma's not very good.
Well, there's just so much uncertainty at Oklahoma at their quarterback position, but also receiver. Their top 3 or 4 receivers have been MIA. Obviously, they've been on the injured list. And then you've got an early kick. Oklahoma's coming off the tail kicking they just took from Texas. I'm going to go Oklahoma because I can't pick South Carolina to win at Norman. I just can't. But I don't like that. I don't like my odds in that.
Well, no, I'm with you. I will give the points. I'll take Oklahoma too because South Carolina can't finish, and the first time they finish, or the next time they finish will be the first time. Alabama.
Well, so this is
yeah. Go ahead.
So Oklahoma just left the conference where their biggest game of the year is always at 11 a.m. And now they're in the purgatory of you got to play at 11 a.m. because you're bad. Welcome to the SEC.
True, but they don't realize that yet. So
right,
they soon will. Alabama at Tennessee, and Orange Julius is getting 3 at home.
Yeah, because they've really looked bad on offense. Obviously watching the entire Arkansas game, and I watched the majority of that Florida game. Arkansas broke them, or maybe it was Oklahoma exposed some flaws, and everybody else is taking advantage of it. And now they're about to play the team with the best athletes that they've seen all season. But there's also a lot of warts on that frog that is Alabama. There's some chinks in the armor, and a lot of it maybe happened in the locker room and not necessarily on the talent field.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, I like the fact that Tennessee's at home. They're getting some points. So I'll take the Vols, but I think this is either really, really high scoring, but I think it's close throughout.
Yeah, it'll be entertaining. I'll take Bama and give the points. I just think their defense might be a little better than Tennessee's, but
Mm-hmm.
both are nuts. Ooh,
Ert,
Michigan at Illinois. Illinois is at home and is ranked 22nd. Michigan is ranked 24th, but Illinois is getting 4 points. Explain that to me.
yeah. Well, I mean, this is the you. What have you done? Kind of question for Illinois. Yeah, you're ranked, and yes, you beat Kansas early in the season, but you got beat by 14 points. Only mustered a touchdown against Penn State. You give up a 49 spot to Purdue, but find a way to win the game in overtime. Like, yes, you're 5-1 in the Big Ten, but are you really any good? And that's the question about Illinois. And I don't know that you can say yes to that question. So only because of that, I'm going to go Michigan to get the win
Ooh,
on the road. It's just because I don't think that Illinois is very good. I don't think Michigan's good, but I don't think Illinois is very good.
okay. Give me the Fighting Bielemas and the throwback Red Grange
Oh,
jerseys,
the unis are
which are
sweet though, right?
hideous. They're probably okay, and then by halftime you're like, God, these are hideous.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll see. A&M Aggie goes to Starkville and gets a big old taste of cowbell. 18's the
yeah.
spread.
Mississippi State's been playing a lot better than you probably expected them to. The quarterbacks played all right, but Texas A&M, I mean, is this their year? I think I went over the schedule earlier this week. I mean, do
Mm-hmm.
they look ahead though? They got LSU next week. Um, I think that I'm no, I'm taking it back. Give me Mississippi State, and that number's too
Yeah.
big. I'm not giving up 3 scores.
Yeah, no. State covers. They'll lose, but they tend to cover. Big one down in Austin. Georgia coming to
Yeah,
town. Horns given 5.
I may get kicked off as a co-host of the show. I think Texas is really, really good, Blair.
Yeah, I'm afraid they are.
Give me Texas.
Yeah. I'm torn on this
Like
one.
they're the best team. They're the best team in the country. Good.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia's had too many up and down moments. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The team that shall not be named will win, and then we'll have to hear all about it. But that's okay. They'll get their comeuppance in a couple of weeks. And then the annual Kentucky goes to Florida and whips the Gators. Usually, the Gators are getting 2 at home. Billy Napier
Yeah,
won't die, though.
Florida has been playing so much better in recent weeks, and Kentucky's kind of fallen on their face. Florida had every chance to beat Tennessee last week. I think they've kind of figured it out. But Kentucky's defensive line is really, really good too. So I'm going to go Florida just because they're getting some points at home. Don't have a lot of confidence in that pick, but I think Billy Napier's coaching, maybe even saving his job for a few weeks.
Okay. Okay. Well, you predicted it would. I mean, it's not if, it's when. Kentucky
Yeah,
seems to own Gainesville lately. Give me the
they have.
Cats, and I'll give the 2. All right, let's jump to the NFL. London calling. Your Patriots. The Jaguars hanging around Buckingham Palace, probably hanging out with King Charles. Maybe not. 6. Drake May in a foreign land.
The only question I have to ask about this game, this has nothing to do with the game, is what happens on the flight back. Does Doug Peterson get fired on the way back?
Yeah.
Which means the Patriots are going to win. So I'll take the Pats to cover.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with
I
you. I'll
don't like
take the.
that. The Pats are so bad, man.
Yeah, but
Ugh.
they'll win. I think we both agree
They
they're
might.
going to win. Seahawks Falcons. Falcons giving 3 at home.
Yeah, Kirk's starting to play pretty well. Seattle has been inconsistent. I know that they've They've gone out. They're going to score points, and I think that's the one thing that's really impressed me with Seattle. But they just can't be consistent with it.
Yeah.
So I'll go Atlanta. I think they may start to kind of establish themselves as one of the top 5 teams in the NFC.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll take the Falcons. The Seahawks aren't stopping anybody. They're giving up a ton of points, and it's just unreal. This line's probably bigger. Will Levis and the Titans at the Bills with Amari Cooper expected to play.
Mm-hmm.
Nine and
Yeah,
a half.
giving Josh Allen more weapons is a scary thought. I mean, he's not going to be full go this week, obviously, because he's just jumping into the system. But another weapon like that, Tennessee can't score. I mean, this could be a 14-3 game, to be quite honest. So I'll take Buffalo.
Yeah, we'll both take the Bills. The Battle of Ohio. Dave looking for bragging rights this week.
Yeah, it's probably not much to brag about if you beat the Browns, but the Bengals should do that. So I'll take Cincy.
Yeah, yeah, and the Browns. Oh, they're bad. Texans at Green Bay. Actually a nice game now. Mm-hmm. Packers given 2.5.
This is going to sound crazy. The winner of this game, their quarterback's going to jump right to the front of the NFL MVP race, whether it's CJ Stroud or Jordan Love. I like Green Bay, the fact that it's home, but I think the Texans are really good. Joe Mixon looked like he hadn't even missed any time. Looked like he hadn't been hurt last week. I'll take the Texans on the road.
Ooh, okay. I'll go with the Packers. I just think, I don't know, just a hunch I'm playing. Dolphins, Colts. I believe that Richardson's going to play. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Flacco's doing well. This could be the over under the -3. Dolphins at Colts.
Yeah. Richardson's playing, so give me the Dolphins.
Okay. The over under is 43.5, which seems extremely optimistic
really
and high. Yes,
yeah.
Very high. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for the Dolphins now. They ought to trade for Flacco.
I don't know if it matters.
They should trade for Flacco. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'll take the Colts. Just stupidity. This should be good. Lions, Vikings.
Yeah, Detroit looked so good last week, and there's the shellacking of Dallas. Obviously, Minnesota sitting at 5-0. I think this is when we see that first chink in the armor of the Vikings defense. I think it's a high-scoring affair. How did Detroit get that pass rush with Hutchinson being out now? I know we're running out of time, so I'll try to go quicker. Give me Detroit.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. I'll take the Vikings. They're playing well at home. Eagles, Giants, Saquon returns.
Giants. Upset.
Ooh, go with the G-Man. I'll take the Eagles. I think Saquon goes wild. Raiders, Rams.
Rams are a 7-point favorite. That's too big. Give me the Raiders.
Okay, going the Raiders. I'll take the Rams. Panthers, Commanders. Do I need to ask?
No, you don't.
No. Chiefs, 49ers. Chiefs getting 1.5.
Give me the Chiefs. Super Bowl rematch on the road.
Yep. Andy coming off a bye. Take the points. Mm-hmm. Jets against Russell Wilson.
Yeah, what are you doing, Pittsburgh? Come on. Jets. Oh,
yeah.
Can't believe I said that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Tomlin's wanting to lose the locker room. Ravens at Bucks. 2 on Monday.
I think it's going to be an interesting game. I'll take Baltimore because Lamar never loses to the NFC.
Give me the Bucks and Chargers, Cardinals.